So we're live with the Woman Agenda podcast. Obviously, Raj, and we have a very special guest. I hope I'll pronounce this right. So it's a Gina, is it Kunadian?
Gina Kunadian. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Hey, you're the
Yeah,
first one who got it right.
I
I've
thought
been
I
called Canadian. I've been called Canadian. All these different ones. So thank you. You actually got it right.
yeah. A lot of people get my name wrong as well. You know, in my even in my main job, they get my name wrong all the time. So I know the feeling. And yeah, and how are you today? All right.
I'm wonderful, Raj. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm very excited to share to
Yeah.
your listeners my story and how I help people.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring you on because when I saw your profile on the Matchmaker and you know the kind of stuff you were doing, then obviously visit your website, which I'll put it on here in a sec as well, which is this is your official website.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and very detailed. Tells everything about what you're doing. I'll let you explain it in your own words. Obviously, there's quite a few things you wear, different hats, um, in different stuff. So we'll talk about one of them, which you deal with helping people who suffer from is it alcohol? You're like alcohol
Yeah.
coach. Is it like is that would you class it as a coach? Is that how it is?
Yeah, coach, mentor. I'm just there to serve the women that are either sober curious or are in their recovery journey right now. So, because I've been through it. So, yes, again, my name is Gina Kunadian. I'm a women's alcohol-free sobriety coach. I help them overcome and break through that alcohol dependency so that way they can have more clarity, that way they can have more confidence, and that way they can finally discover who their true being is because we all have it within us. And as far as myself, I used alcohol to mask the insecurity that I had in myself because I was a very insecure child all the way up into adulthood. And no one would think that I had low self esteem, but I hated myself. I hated my looks. I hated everything about me because I didn't know how to love myself. And so it wasn't until I discovered a mentor who helped me. She wasn't an alcohol recovery coach. However, she was a mindset coach and she helped me reframe my thoughts and help me get rid of those limiting beliefs that we all have that we can't do this or we can't do that. But you know what? I changed my mindset and now I'm in a place where I've been over 6 years sober and now helping other women throughout this journey that they no longer want to be suffering anymore. They want to live and they want to live the life that they want to live. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. I mean, they should, you know, everyone should live a nice life, though they shouldn't, and they shouldn't be like suffering from alcohol. It's you know, people who suffered it, they know obviously how hard it is. Like you said, you've been through the experiences yourself. If you don't mind me asking a little bit about your experience, I mean, how far in the alcohol were you at that time? And did you get any support yourself? Or
This is a great question. Les, let me go back and tell you a little bit about my story and where I come from. So, growing up as a child, well, my father passed away when I was a baby. And with me not having a father, my mom knew like, okay, I needed a father figure because she would see me draw little pictures of a family, with the father, the mother, and of course me. And so she was dating and then met this man, and the man had, I mean, we thought he had good intentions because he was very kind. However, he actually sexually abused me from the ages of 6 years old to 12 years old. And he came into our lives, I think I was just about to turn 6. So I didn't know what good touching, bad touching was. And obviously, I kept that all bottled up inside. So growing up, well, they had split after, of course, I turned 12 years older. So my mom never knew what had happened. I kept everything inside. None of my siblings all knew because I'm the baby of the family. They're a lot older than I am. And so growing up, I just did not have that confidence in myself. I felt very shy. I felt like I wasn't worthy. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I didn't belong. And so I didn't have as many good friends. I would always try to be likable to everybody. Like, hey, I want to hang out with this crowd. Let me just do everything I can so that way they can like me. Well, they took advantage of that. And that wound up turning into bad relationships that I got into, even in high school, which I was then into an abusive relationship. This guy, who were about the same age, was literally, I want to say the word obsessed, possessed, because I couldn't do anything without his knowing. I couldn't wear what I wanted to wear. I couldn't, it was like, and we were just 15 years old, okay? So here I was thinking in this relationship, like, it's horrible. And it was ugly. Anyway, I had to get a restraining order and all, and that had happened. And in my senior year, though, I did meet another guy in high school, or same school, and we got together, much nicer, much kinder, but very much into this culture of what's called a rave scene, which is more like EMD, like electronic music. And it's all about the warehouse underground, and you just go over there and you dance. And so I'm like, oh, I love dancing, let's go, knowing that I didn't know they were doing a lot of drugs there. They were doing ecstasy, smoking weed. I mean, there was no alcohol there because it was all ages, right? And so that was the first time that I actually experimented with drugs, was ecstasy. And that was the moment I felt like I kind of belonged in that culture, because I felt like everyone was very loving, very kind in that environment. However, I mean, obviously we're all on something, so it's not real. It's not a real connection, but that's what I thought. And I wound up getting kicked out of my house. My mom's like, you know what, you're out. So I wasn't even graduated from high school just yet. I was living with that boyfriend and his family. And I wound up, after high school, moving to Southern California to go to Cal State Fullerton, because I was already accepted to go to college there. And so he and I and a couple of our friends wound up moving over there. Again, the culture, I was partying again. I wasn't drinking alcohol though, but I was just partying. And he and I got into a lot of fights, so bad that I wound up moving back home to the Bay Area in California, and I was going to school there. Well, I was then turning 21, and this is my friends like, hey, let's go out, let's do this. And so I was going out into these house clubs. I love the music, love the people. I just got involved now. Instead of drugs, it was more alcohol. So I was drinking, and I just loved how everyone was interacting with me. I felt like, again, I belonged. I had a lot of friends, so I thought they were good friends. But that culture lasted only for so long, because I did meet my DJ husband at the time during we did okay, I have to back up a little bit. I was at a club called Blue Monkey, and I remember he had added me up. I don't know if you remember MySpace. MySpace, it was like a little bit
Yeah.
after Friendster, right? And so he had added me on there, but then he introduced himself to me, and he was like, "Hey, well, why don't you give you a CD? You know, I'm producing the music here, da da da." And I like, "Oh, cool." And so he and I started talking, and then we just fell in love, and we really just enjoyed each other's conversations. And so we got married, and then we still started using drugs and going out and partying, because that was our lifestyle, like going out all the time. And I was getting to a point where it was more, my drinking was more social. Then it became more habitual. Eventually it came dependency, because in our marriage, we would fight. After me drinking or he drinking, we would get into physical fights together. He would go to jail. I would get in trouble. You know, it was just not a good situation at all. And I remember, because of my erratic behavior, because I was so hurt and upset about everything because of probably what had happened to me in the past, that I bottled everything inside. I bottled everything inside. I just did not want to tell anybody. And I remember my mom and my family, because she saw what had happened between my husband and I at that time. And she was like, okay, something's going on with her. So I had this intervention with my family. And then that's the time I finally spoke up and said, you know, the reason why I'm probably like this is because I was abused when I was a child. And then it was like a big shock to the family, like, oh my goodness, what had happened? And my mom was like, do you want me to try to find him? I said, no, no, no. I'm just happy that I got it out. And although my husband and I were still partying, trying to make it work, I was very angry still and abusive towards him. And to a point where he said, you know, enough is enough. I am no longer going to be in this relationship. And so we had a 6-year-old son at the time. He left, and I was by myself. And that was the time I really had to sit with myself. Of course, I was still drinking very heavily, because I could not function without alcohol. I couldn't drive without drinking. I couldn't work without drinking. Had everything that I was doing. I had to put alcohol in my system, because my body was so dependent on it that it needed that alcohol. So I was alone and sad. And I remember texting my friend, because I was taking anti anxiety medication. I think it was called Ativan at the time. And I told him, I said, I do not want to live anymore. I want to die. Like, I don't care anymore. That is it. And so I wound up drinking and taking pills, hoping I was going to die. Well, I woke up to ambulance or paramedics in my home, taking me out on the gurney, going straight to the hospital. I remember just kind of like vaguely waking up, and I guess they had pumped my stomach or whatever. From there, they took me to inpatient, which I was like a total new experience, because I was like, oh, I don't really feel like I belong here. I don't think I have a mental problem. So I was thinking, yes, I did have a mental problem. And then from there, I went to outpatient. The outpatient program that I had was interesting because it was teaching about anxiety and how to cope with anxiety, depression, anger issues. Those are the things that I was focusing on, not thinking that, hey, I have a problem with drinking here. I didn't want to admit that just yet. I did not want to admit that I had a problem with drinking, that all I'm here for is just anxiety, anger issues, and depression. Okay. And of course, suicidal thoughts at the time. And so what happened next is I did that program, and I remember one counselor came up to me and she says, do you drink alcohol? I said, nope. Completely lied to her. Like, okay, yes, I needed to drink. Okay, mind you, I was drinking a fifth of vodka a day in order for me to function. And I would be probably acting how I am now, just a little bit more, but literally how I'm functioning. And I would deny it. And I remember it was, I think in 2014, this was in 2014. It was Thanksgiving. I went to my brother's house, and then I remember my mom there, and I did not have any alcohol in my system. And I felt so sick, like I was going to die. I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt like, oh my goodness, someone please give me something to drink. And my mom was like, no, I'm not going to get you anything to drink. I said, Mom, if I don't drink anything, I'm going to probably have like a seizure or something's going to happen to me. So she brings me some wine, and then I'm like, no, I need to drink more. And that was a time that I finally admitted I'm an alcoholic. I always thought I had a high tolerance, that I can just take it, because that was my lifestyle. That was the way I was living. That was what I only knew. That was what my friends, they were doing. They were drinking. That was some of my family members, they were drinking. Like, it was so acceptable in our society. Like, hey, everybody's drinking. Why am I not drinking? So that happened, and I went to rehab. I went to a 30-day rehab program, and met wonderful people. Stayed sober for 30 days, didn't even have caffeine. But what did I do immediately after I left rehab? I went to a casino that was literally like 20 minutes away from the rehab facility, and I drank and I gambled. I don't have a gambling issue. It was the drinking that triggered everything all over again. So here I am all over again, relapsed. And then I meet a college fling that I had previously had relations before. He and I kind of hooked up, and then I wound up getting pregnant. And so I was like, oh, okay. So during the time of the pregnancy, I was going to try to make it work with him. What had happened is I was able to stay away from the alcohol. That was no problem. It wasn't until I stopped nursing that I then got back onto drinking, but it got a lot worse. My behavior was getting more irrational. I was starting fights with my partner at the time and pushing him and getting so angry. Like, it was way worse than it was before. And then I just like, oh no, here's the cycle all over again. He wound up calling the cops, and I was then arrested and went to jail. And during that time that I was in jail, I was like, okay, I had to like start thinking about some things here, and looked into like, okay, magazines, what can I read to help me? All they had was the Bible. So I started reading the Bible there, and I was like, okay, some guidance, please, And I remember that after I got out of jail, I was still drinking though. It wasn't until the moment that I remember in my car, I had a bottle of vodka and a bottle of Coca-Cola, which I had mixed together because I was on my way to work, and I know I needed to drink in order for me to do anything. And it was raining that day, and I was like so miserable, and so I felt so icky, and enough was enough. I was like, you know what? That's it. I surrender. I said, God, because I wasn't spiritual or religious at the time. I was just kind of like dabbling into church a little bit, but not too much, because I was curious. I was like, please, I cannot live like this anymore. Please help me. I literally called out. And the moment I called out, 2 weeks later, what happens? I wound up having pancreatitis. I don't think that was like my prayer necessarily, but it was like a prayer in disguise that came true, that, okay, this answered my prayer of me wanting to stop, because it took me to the hospital, and what they treated me. And I thought, wow, okay, if I'm in the hospital, what better way for me to just go ahead and detox everything and just start brand new? And I wound up in a faith-based hospital, believe it or not. I got prayed over. The doctor told me literally, you're going to die within 10 years if you don't stop drinking alcohol. So all these signs, all these things, and I really had to sit with myself because nobody went to go visit me at the hospital, probably because I angered a lot of people, but nobody went to go visit me. So it was just me, myself, and my spirit and God. So I really did a lot of self-evaluation, and I'm like, okay, this is my new start. So after a week later, I went back home. I had my own little studio because my child's father and I broke up because of course, my drinking. And I started brand new. I started going to church, which I felt like I belonged there. And I started going through these communities that helped me. So I was in Bible study, I was serving, I was in children's ministry, I was serving the homeless, I was doing a lot of things that involved serving, service and fellowship, service and fellowship. And that's when eventually I met my husband now. And man, I tell you, time has gone by so fast since then. It's just been an incredible, amazing ride. Not drinking alcohol anymore. I don't even like desire it. Like if people can drink around me, no problem. I just do not desire it. It is something of my past. And what I've done is I've been so in touch with my own faith and my and God, whether you call it source, God, frequency, whatever your God is, as long as you surrender to that higher power, that is like the initial step is saying, hey, I need help. Help me, please. And since then, everything has been beautiful. Like literally, I've done, I don't know, I've done so much since I've been sober. It's been like an incredible journey. Like I've got into business coaching, learned how to create my own business. I have a podcast show now where I'm having other women come on my show, share their story or their expertise, whether it's in mindset, health, or spirituality, because everyone has a story. Everyone needs to share their story. And it's so nice to hear people who like say, hey, they've been through it. I can do it too. And you can do it because I did it. One who's like tried to die twice, tried to commit suicide twice, one who has gone through rehab multiple times, one who has gone through inpatient, outpatient rehab itself, and have done multiple programs. This was the only thing that helped me. And like I said, it was because of that mindset coach that helped me reframe my thoughts and really helped me start looking at myself differently. I know I probably speak too much, but I have a lot of energy all the time. This is me naturally. So I'm just blessed to have a sober mind. And I'm just grateful for this experience.
No, absolutely. This is a platform for women to to tell their stories their way, and obviously, and no restrictions at all. On this, and that's how it was launched. So they could speak uninterrupted and tell their story. And I think even afterwards, when people watch this, they will obviously learn and they could identify from this because yeah, whether it's alcohol and not just alcohol, because I've seen one of my mates who used to smoke a lot. Every time, like every 10 minutes, have a cigarette and stuff. And then he got to a stage when he wanted to quit smoking, and um, then he used to just feel like the urge, like you have with alcohol. I need a cig. I need a cig. The
Mm-hmm.
body just craving for it inside. It totally. And that's the same. It's a similar thing with alcohol, I guess. It's because your body is so used to that substance that it's very very tough to get out of. But I'm so happy for you that you managed to not just come out of it with flying colors. You've become a role model for women, and you've been able to now help other women. And it's more. I would say it's not just. I mean, everything is a business, but it's for them. It's a life changing thing which you are doing for them.
Absolutely. And yes, like going back to why I wanted to help women is because I've always been that type of who loves helping people. I was a weight loss consultant for many years back in the day, and then I also was a massage therapist and been working at the Four Seasons Hotel for over 16 years now. And so I always felt that I had a specific like gift, and we all have gifts. We all have it within us, that I love nurturing people. And that's like my whole shine transformation shine process. And it is the acronym. It's sobriety, it's healing, it's inspiration, it's then nurturing and also empowerment. And that is something that I focus on with women because the mind, the body, the spirit is all connected. If we have a good mind, we will have a good body. If we have a good body, our mind automatically goes well because we all
Yeah.
want to feel good and look good. And so it's just everybody's different too, So I have to really meet the clients at where they're at and then go from there. So that's why I like to have a little conversation with them first, just so I get to know them, see where they're at, because maybe they're just wanting to see, they're drinking still, and that's totally fine. And they just want to be like sober curious, and they're just curious, like, hey, how can I help myself? Like, what can I do differently? What habits and behaviors can I change in order for me to get to where I want to be in life? There's also with breathing exercises, I really focus on the breathing and then the whole meditative state. That is very important. And I'm going to tell you why. Our spirit, it's like it can go in this reality or it can go into another reality. And it's nice because I feel like for myself, personally speaking, I get a lot more clarity when I pause and just have a moment of silence, because in this chaotic world that we live in right now, and it's chaotic, we're so distracted with everything else going on, but we really don't focus on ourselves. So just taking even like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, even just to pause and just sit with yourself and just breathe helps tremendously. And I always am a big fan of morning routines, and I make sure I do that every morning is or sometime in the day, sometime for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, and because if you look, it's like if you look after your body, the body will look after you. As there's a saying, if you abuse your body, then what's going to happen eventually? That's why I used to say to one of my friends who kept smoking so much, and I'm like, you need to stop. You only it's going to get worse here. You're going the way you're going. And eventually he managed to quit smoking, but it took him a lot to get to that stage, because it's not easy, once you're totally addicted to it, and you can't live without it. It's just you have to push yourself, and then you need a few people maybe to help you out, to help you to get to that stage as well. But going over to your business, it's a very successful what you're doing on there. So if you can just explain to people who are going to be watching this afterwards as well, that those five, is it 5 steps you have in that coaching program?
Yeah, it's all nurtured inside the actual program. And like I said, everybody's different. So it just depends. And then it's all included. But I really
Yeah.
focus on mind, body, and spirit, and how to heal within. And whether, and I also really focus on, okay, good, healthy eating. Like I said, I was a weight loss consultant before. And you'll notice when you stop drinking, you automatically will lose weight. And your body is going to thank you. And like I mentioned before, when you're feeling good, you're going to do good. And one of my friends, she told me recently, she was like, man, when I work out, when I exercise, I automatically start eating better. It's like immediately. So we focus on good, healthy eating habits. I also help with even appearance. Like I'll give makeup lessons. I'll give good recipes. Like whatever you need, I'm there for you. Like I wear many hats. Now, I don't know if I'll do massage. I don't know if I can do massage over Zoom, but I can definitely give good energy. And that's what everyone always says. Gina, I sense your energy from far away. I say, well, yeah. Everyone has great energy. It's just got to come out. And I just really want women to really understand who they are. I think a lot of times, alcohol and cigarettes, drugs even are so glamorized in like movies, our friends do it. We see it like, so it's like normalized in this world. Like even here in California, like marijuana is legal is legalized. Not saying anything bad about those who smoke it or anything, but for those who are trying to be sober minded and don't want to do any narcotics or use any substance, it's difficult because it's all accepted here in society. And I think that's a lot of people have a hard time with that. And I always try to help people change their habits. Like, what are some different habits you can go ahead and do instead of those habits? And really start questioning the drink or the substance. Like, why am I drinking? Is it because I want to have more confidence? Is it because I want to be socially accepted? Is it because everyone else is like doing it? What is it? What is it? Or do I want to numb myself? We really have to ask these questions. Why are we doing this? Because once we then know why, we can then focus on that. The mind was really what's going to help tremendously. Reframing those thoughts, getting rid of those limiting beliefs, really reclaiming your life as who you truly are as a spiritual being, because we're all spiritual beings living here, experiencing what it's like to be a human living here on earth. And it's just a matter of like you really tapping into that, your spirit, and knowing your true purpose and why you are here on earth. I found mine. Well, actually, I had to go through this whole journey, and that's okay. I'm very grateful for the journey that I've went through, the bad, the ugly, everything about it. I am grateful for, because it has shaped me to become who I am today. Now I am able, and I'm at a stage and a level where I can help other women. And like I said, I focus on the mind, body, and spirit. So all of those three combined is going to completely give you a huge transformation. So yes, that answered your question.
No, it does, and it's nice to obviously like you said, once they have the main thing is to admit that you have a problem, and obviously if they've done the first stage, okay, I've got a problem, then obviously you can guide them through that root cause and then give them the solution at the end of it, to help them out, because i- uh, like you mentioned, if you're with bad company, like when we were going out, we got certain friends who drink. So, and if say you don't drink, they're like, why aren't you drinking?
Yeah.
And it's like, because I don't want to drink. I quit. Look, I quit about since about 2007, 8. I've not drunk.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's incredible. And I'm sure
Yeah,
I'm sure you experience a lot of different how your body feels, how you
yeah.
like show up in the world, right? It's completely different.
Yeah, it is, and that was just a personal choice. I mean, my dad sometimes drinks and stuff, and that's his decision. But he only does this occasionally anyway. He doesn't. He's not a drinker. But and My mate quit a few years back, but I think about a year ago actually. But the thing is, when he was going with the other mates, they were like, "Why aren't you drinking?" And it's like,
Mm.
because I quit drinking. Oh no, no, just have one, just have one. It's like, what kind of advice are you doing there? Like it's like I never say that to him. I wouldn't even say that to him if I was drinking. Why aren't you drinking? Because that's your personal decision, and if you feel good, then you shouldn't tell somebody start drinking when they've just quit.
Right. And you'll notice, like, alcohol is the only substance that people are asking, why aren't you doing it?
Yeah,
No one talks about that with methamphetamines or anything. They're all addicting. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
So it's like the only one, like, why aren't you drinking? So if you're at a party, why aren't you drinking? And then people have to
Yeah,
make up stories like, I'm allergic or this, that, just say, yeah, I just prefer not to. It doesn't serve me anymore. It
yeah,
doesn't serve me
exactly.
anymore.
Because you can't because every time if I go to my mates, or if we go all together, I haven't seen a difference with when I was drinking or when I'm not drinking now, because it's the company. If the company is good, I enjoy myself. So I don't need to be drinking and getting drunk and going crazy.
Right. Yes. You'll notice you will enjoy yourself even more when you're out and you're not drinking because first off, you'll probably remember majority of the night.
Yeah,
You won't be all sloppy and regretting
yeah,
the next day. What
exactly.
did I do? Oh my gosh, what did I make myself? Because I've done that. That's why I can say that. I remember waking up so many mornings and just like, what happened? And you just feel so sick in the morning and you can't get things done, that you could have been doing. Like right now, like I do so much more than what I did. I didn't do anything practically. Wasn't cooking. I wasn't cleaning properly. I wasn't doing anything. I was just doing like just enough to get me by. But now I'm exploring so many different things. I'm reading more. I'm actually cooking, finding new recipes that because I enjoy cooking. I love cooking. It's just like one of my passions. And I am enjoying life. I'm really focusing on nature and just being connected to everything around me. It's an incredible journey, and once you've really tapped into your spirit and you're just really learning more about yourself, there's no stopping. Like it's just it's something that I wish everyone could experience. And this is just being sober because I mean, I will drink coffee. Yes, I drink coffee, but I don't need any substance to make me who I am, like or feel how I have been feeling because I already feel like euphoric and everything because it's like, wow, I see the world completely in different lens and it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I would
Yeah.
just yeah, and I actually do have some listeners' gifts for your for your listeners. I do have my own 6-step blueprint to living an alcohol-free life. These are the steps that I've taken, I embrace that have helped me throughout my journey. And this is without AA or the 12 steps because I've tried that and it didn't work for me. And I also do have on my website, or maybe on the link that I had given you. I think it was one of my links. It's my seven day or 1 week of being sober curious. It's like a challenge. It's like hey, how am I going to feel in 7 days not having any alcohol in my system? And it's just for those who are either sober curious or really want to get a jump start to their alcohol sobriety journey. So those are some gifts that I have available for your listeners. And yeah, I'm excited to just to see what else is going to be happening in the future for me because I feel like I'm being divinely led, literally. And I feel like with me helping all the women, my clients, they're just doing amazing. Like I'm just so happy and so proud of them. And they can finally see that they are finally proud of themselves because it's hard work. It's work, but it's hard work. But it's really focusing on learning who you are and discovering your gifts, your passions, and what your purpose is here on earth.
So, whereabouts did you say? I mean, I think I might have missed that. Whereabouts did you say you were based?
Oh, I'm based here in America, so in California, and I'm in the Bay Area, so San Jose.
Ah,
I don't know if you
oh
heard of
yeah,
it.
well, I've heard of it. I've heard of it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. So what do you think? I mean, is it like do you think I mean, alcohol is obviously everywhere, obviously in every country, and it's some is worse than others, obviously. If you can't control your drinking,
Yeah.
um, myself personally, I wasn't I wasn't like I had to drink. I was like just a social drinker, like if I'm going out, then I would drink. If at home and stuff, I wasn't drinking. But
Yeah.
um, but obviously, it's not easy because a lot of people do drink, and then if you get used to drinking all the time, then obviously it's difficult to stop that. Which obviously I can understand. Um, these kind of things, alcohol, cigarettes is one of those things, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
drugs as well. And
Yeah.
but um, what is the situation down there in where you are, and regarding, is it a massive problem with alcohol, do you think?
You know what? Well, I do see a lot of homeless, and because I served the homeless before in the community that I was in Fremont, which is not too far from where I am at now. A
Mhm.
lot of it because they were drinking and doing drugs. They would share stories. They would tell me. So, I mean, and so then I would then assume here in San Jose, there's a lot of homelessness. It's increasing more and more. And I know that we've had COVID, the shutdowns, people, stopped, couldn't afford their living. I understand that. But the ones that I'm around, you can just tell they're not stable in the head, that they're on some sort of substance, whether it's alcohol, drugs, whatever it is. And so that's how I can determine, like, okay, maybe it is a problem here, but I don't really go out
Mhm.
anymore to like clubs or hang out with those friends that drink. So it's hard for me to distinguish, okay, that maybe San Jose is having a hard time with that. But I feel like it just depends, it depends
Mhm.
what you're seeing out there. How often do you do you go out and you see like a lot of people either getting DUIs or people who are just acting recklessly after, the club nights after 2 a.m. in the morning,
Yeah,
and things like that. But because I don't associate with that anymore, it's hard for me to distinguish that. I'm only going by like the homelessness that we have here, and that's a lot. So I would only assume that it's because of that reason, but I'm not sure. It's one
yeah,
of those things.
yeah, absolutely. And obviously, we can see that you do one-to-one coaching, like you said. And how long is the coaching for, or is it different for every person,
It's a great
everyone?
question. So it's 6 months of coaching and
Okay.
it's through Zoom. And like I said, everybody is different. And so I will tailor it towards their needs. And then I also do what's called a VIP day, which is like a full on 4 hour immersion. And then you just have me one on one and we just put whatever you need together. And I give you all the tips and tools and strategies that you need in order for you to, have your sobriety be sustainable, or as well as like help you start your sobriety journey. And I do also offer just a mini course. It's overcoming challenges. It doesn't really particularly have to be for sobriety. It could be for anything in life, but it's just to help people through the tides of life's, that the tides that we have to deal with in life, because we all have our ups and downs, and so we all experience challenges. So I've created a tool that will help you navigate through that, and it also comes with a nice breathing sequence, and that is for clarity and confidence. More like affirmation meditation. You can do breathing with it.
Wow, that does sound really good.
Yeah.
Definitely, and I'm sure it's very going to be very beneficial for them. So that's fine. So yeah, and everyone obviously watching this afterwards, do go on to Gina's website. Official website is here. Gina, we'll put the link on the video description as well, and we'll share it on the social media, the links. And so yeah, so Gina could, her full name is on there.com. So do check it out and get in touch with her if you need any help in alcohol, or if y- on the do you still do the massage
Oh, I do massage, but I'm just at the hotel.
at the hotel?
Yeah. I'm still there. It's been almost now 17 years. It'll be in August. So,
Wow. How do you manage to wear so many hats then?
so yes, I'm also a mom of 3 boys.
Wow.
So one of them is my stepson, and then who I love and adore tremendously.
Wow.
But I only work at the hotel once a week
Oh,
because
okay.
of my business and my
Yeah.
podcast show that I have, and I do
Oh,
that
yeah.
like literally 3 times a week. I interview women. And so
Wow.
I'm making relationships, building relationships, and just I love doing multiple things. Like I said, like since I've been sober minded, like there's no stopping. Like I can just keep going. And and when I'm tired, I will take that time for myself though. I won't push myself. I won't overwhelm myself. I will definitely
Yeah.
make sure my family has a priority in everything though, because my family is very important to me.
Definitely, absolutely, and the way you've transformed your own life, which is remarkable, it's great. It's great to see what you've done there, and the way you're helping women. Um, Definitely, I mean, that really will transform their lives, and obviously give them that give them like a rebirth, basically, isn't it? Really, it's like a
Yeah.
rebirth. When you come out of that, you start again. You're starting fresh again. It's a bit like that, to be honest, for them.
Ah, and that's a beautiful way that you put that because it is.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I had to really die of my old self and then
yeah,
be born again. And then just to really discover who is Gina. as a spiritual
uh,
being. And oh man, just the more I've learned about myself, the more I actually love myself, and not in an arrogant way, but
yeah,
just more of a self-loving way. And now I want other women to feel that as well.
yeah, absolutely, and definitely, and your social, are you like visible a lot on social media?
Yes, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, not so much, but I'm still there. You can find
Yeah.
me with just Gina Kunadian. It's GinaKunadian. But on Instagram, it's Shine, SHINE _Gina Kunadian.
All right, okay. And your podcast, your podcast, that's is it a video version or audio or?
Yes, so it's audio, but I do have my videos stored in my new YouTube page or new YouTube channel. I'm actually fairly new to YouTube, believe it or not. And so
Right.
I'm just getting those uploaded there. Nothing, I didn't do too much with that page or that channel. But yes, it's called Shine Within with Gina Kunadian. And I bring on females who are either experts in the areas of mindset, women's health, and spirituality, or ones who want to share their story and how they've overcome alcohol dependency. And so that's my podcast, and it's all over all the platforms. And yeah, I love doing that. It's so rewarding, so fun, and I'm meeting incredible women in the process.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's absolutely incredible stuff. What you're doing, and obviously, uh, and definitely so do get on there, and obviously doing a podcast as well, which would be which is very I'm sure very interesting on there. So do check it out. Jean is a podcast, and also her YouTube channel as well um, on there. I've obviously not had the opportunity to check your YouTube channel, but I'm sure I will check it out. Um,
Awesome.
yes, I will check it out very soon on there. But yeah, and it must be very early in America. I think it's behind, isn't it? UK.
Yeah, so right now it's about to be 11 o'clock pretty soon
Yeah,
in the morning.
yeah,
Not that early. It's good time. I like to be up
yeah.
early, early in the
I,
morning.
I remember because my uncle usually says because he's in Texas,
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, Texas, and he usually says to me that it's early down here, and yeah,
It's late
so
where you're at though, right? It's like,
yeah, it's nearly 7. It's nearly 7 o'clock, and I've had a
okay.
long day today again. But yeah, it's but this is obviously but doing the podcast is something which I enjoy doing,
Yeah,
and yeah, definitely. So yeah, absolutely, it's a great story, and definitely, and and definitely I could chat to you for a long time, to be honest, because your story is absolutely amazing, and it will draw inspiration to so many women out there, and obviously, and plus you're helping them as well. So, with the program, so which, like you said, depends on and their situation, and then you organize it at the time on their personal needs. Yeah.
absolutely. And the biggest thing is I want them to make sure they have their goals set up in line. So whether that's in career, financial, relationships, personal, I like to go ahead. That's like the first thing. Let's go ahead and focus on your goals, your 1 year goal, 5 year goal, 10 year plus year goal. That's my start. And then we go from there.
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. No, I think that's a better idea, isn't it? Because some, I think, when they do the coaching, they like offer, okay, it's this is a fixed so many weeks, but then I don't think fixed will work for everyone, to be honest, because if you have just two programs and they're fixed in so many weeks, it might not work for that particular person.
Right.
Um, because if you do it like what you're doing, then obviously it would be towards the needs for that woman,
Right.
particular woman, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Because everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. We all have different, and that's what makes us so special is that we're all different and uniquely created. So, and that's why I love working with different women from all areas, age wise, whatever. Like I get along with majority of everybody. I don't think I found anybody and I'm like, oh, I don't really like them. No, I actually enjoy everybody. And so
Yeah.
no, I do love my work. And like I said, like I know my purpose now. My purpose is to help women defeat alcohol and not have it in their lives anymore if they choose. It's a choice and it is their choice. So yes, it's really up to them. I'm not going to change them. They're going to change themselves. I'm just here to encourage and support and guide. That's what I'm here for, and to give you the proper tools that you need in order for you to succeed in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And we can obviously see the podcast is in season 2. So is it season 2 at the moment?
It is, yes, yes. It's been less than a year since I launched my podcast. I launched my podcast February last year. So it's
Wow.
already, yeah, I'm already on season 2, already on like 108 episodes or so. So it's fun editing too. I learned so much with computers because I don't know if I mentioned this before, but because I've done massage therapy for so many years, I never used a computer. All I used was
Mhm.
my phone for navigating the internet and also checking email, and that was it. I never had to like use the computer for anything. So I had to learn everything from scratch. Like I'm the one who doing my own editing for podcasts. I do my own everything now, and it's amazing.
Wow.
Like I've learned YouTube helps. YouTube helps tremendously when you want to like learn something real quick and figure
Yeah.
it out on your own. And so I learned to be techie. So I'm pretty good at being technical now when it comes to computers. So like I said, like you'd be surprised what you can do when you become sober minded and ready to go. You'd be surprised because I never thought I'd be good at computers, and here I am.
Yeah, definitely. It's a new experience. I mean, like you said, YouTube is a new experience, and even now, I'm trying to become better on YouTube and my channel. So it's all a new experience, isn't it? Really. But yeah, definitely do get in touch with Gina. Obviously, she's on social media, so do get in touch with her. We'll try to put all the links on the video description so you can get in touch with her and seek any advice or any comments. You should get in touch with Gina, and she will get back to you on there. Absolutely, yeah. LinkedIn. I'm not dumb. I'm on LinkedIn. The only one I have a little bit of I used to have a problem with was Facebook.
Oh,
Um,
oh
because
yeah, Facebook.
yeah, Facebook.
Yes, actually, I do have a group page there. It's called Awakened Souls, Women Embracing Sobriety and Spiritual Wholeness. I do have that group there for women who are interested. And yeah,
Yeah,
I do love Facebook. I mostly hang out on Facebook. That's where I put more of my personal stuff. And then
absolutely.
Instagram like is more of like podcast, TikTok's more podcast. But my personal stuff's mostly on Facebook and also my podcast. And LinkedIn is just more like podcasts. Everything's mostly based on podcasts and business. Of course, my business is always on there. I'm always promoting my business. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So do check it out on her website and get in touch with her if you need any advice. If you're suffering from alcohol, it is obviously a serious thing. So do get in touch with Gina. She can develop any program to meet your needs, and she will help you out with her one-to-one
Mm.
expertise. So definitely do get in touch with her. And yes, it's been a pleasure. It's been great to have you on there because I want to bring the people on, the women on who are making that massive difference and helping other people, helping the women. So because then that will be beneficial for anyone, for the viewers, for the listeners who will listen to the podcast as well.
Yes, and thank you so much for having this platform for us women to go ahead and speak on and just share how we can help others, because that's
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, is serving others. Like, I'm here to serve. And so if and I do it joyfully. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. If I didn't like what I'm doing, I won't do it. But I enjoy it. And so thank you for having this platform, Raj, and it's been a pleasure knowing you now and meeting you and just having this podcast is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and anything else you'd like to add on there?
Yes, I would want to say that I do offer a free connect call. If you ever want to get in touch with me, you can go on my website and contact me there. And I do offer just a free call, just so we can just chat, just like friends. We'll just to see where you're at and how I can help you and serve you. And I just want to let you know that also you don't feel like you need to not ask for help. Asking for help is one of ours. It was very powerful, because often I think people just are afraid to ask for help. But it's when you do ask for help that you'll get the help that you need, and you'll be so grateful and so thankful. Your spirit's going to be thanking you, like, thank you for asking for help, because that's what people need. We need help. Heck, even in myself, I need help with like business coaching still or things like that. I can't do it alone. We all need that extra guidance, and that's why it's important for us to connect. Yeah.
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, very, very, very well said. Absolutely, spot on. Definitely, Gina. It has been a pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much. And on there, thank you very much for coming on, guys. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe and do please check out Gina's website and her YouTube channels and subscribe and check out her latest videos on there. And obviously, her podcast is on what days is the podcast on?
Oh, all the podcast platforms. So Apple, Spotify, you name it. iHeartRadio. On
Oh
all
yeah,
all of
great,
them. Yeah.
great. That's fine. So do check it out on there and type in and do check out Gina's podcast on every week. Do check it out. Thank you very much, Gina, for coming on. It's been a pleasure to have you on,
Thank
and
you.
thank you.